This mini lecture will focus on this question: why do some students struggle with math? In the world of special education, dyscalculia is what we call specific learning disability in the area of mathematics. In this class, I will use dyscalculia and mathematics learning disability, MLD, interchangeably. Specific learning disabilities are one of the 13 disability categories under IDEA. We say specific because they often manifest themselves in the areas of reading, dyslexia, math, dyscalculia, and writing, dysgraphia. There is also a form of LD called nonverbal learning disability, which is characterized by a large discrepancy between higher verbal skills and weaker motor, visual, spatial, and social skills. Dyscalculia, also known as a math learning disability or a mathematics disorder, refers to a brain-based condition that makes it hard to make sense of numbers and math concepts. The most common problem is with number sense, which we will discuss more in a few weeks. Basically, number sense is an intuitive understanding of how numbers work and how to compare and estimate quantities. Poor number sense makes it difficult to connect numbers to the real world. For example, a child with dyscalculia might have trouble understanding that 5 cookies has the same number of objects as 5 pencils or 5 apples. Dyscalculia is much less known in research than dyslexia. We are not exactly sure how many students have a math learning disability because not every state and district specifies the type of LD when they diagnose it. But a good estimate is about 6 to 7% of elementary school children may have dyscalculia. It's also not uncommon for students to have difficulties in more than one area. Over half, about 56% of kids with a reading disorder also have poor math achievement, and 43% of kids with a math disability also have poor reading skills. This is likely because of the characteristics and causes of learning disabilities. This chart is a visual description of the factors that influence the performance of students with math learning disabilities. Essentially, we can divide those factors into student factors and environmental factors. The student factors can be academic, like using underdeveloped strategies, having poor number sense, or having weak reading or weak listening comprehension skills. There are also certain cognitive deficits in working memory and attention that typically characterize people with MLD. In mathematics, this makes simple fact retrieval a challenge. When it comes to problem solving, we all need to be able to recall facts and procedures, understand underlying mathematical concepts, and apply them to solve a problem. Students with dyscalculia have a hard time doing this without support. Lastly, self-regulatory deficits are also common student factors related to poor mathematical performance. Students with MLD tend to have poor self-monitoring strategies, poor organizational skills, and poor self-efficacy. Environmental factors are related to instruction and the logistics of today's classroom. By no means do these environmental factors cause a learning disability, but they definitely can add to a student's struggle. Many teachers feel ill-prepared to teach math to students. New standards are more fast-paced and rigorous, and elementary teachers especially do not have a lot of training on the subject. This leads to teacher misconceptions and more confusion for students. In general, the National Mathematics Advisory Panel has found that many teachers are not using evidence-based practices in their classroom to support students with disabilities. If most students who struggle with math are placed in the general education setting, we need to make sure teachers are prepared with the math content and evidence-based math pedagogy to support them. Lastly, the logistics of today's classrooms, like larger class sizes and more students with disabilities placed in the same classes, means less time for teachers to meet the needs of all of their students. All of this may sound dismal in terms of the future for students who struggle with mathematics, But throughout the semester, my aim is to help you learn how to support these challenges students face by increasing your math content knowledge and by teaching you about evidence-based instructional strategies for your future classrooms.